This is September 28th, and this is a speech by Tristan Lorentz. The audience. And the cameraman.
All right. Hello, friends and family. Many of you have traveled out of state and know that it can be a very stressful experience. From long lines, early mornings, hours of waiting, and short layovers, being alone in these situations can enhance the stress of traveling. I'm here to show you that traveling alone is not as scary as it seems. The first time I traveled alone, I flew to Oregon, Oregon, Florida, they're pretty opposite. Which, as I hope all of you know, is on the opposite sides of the country. Do you all know that? I hope you do. I had one layover in Salt Lake City, Utah, and like most other people, I was a little nervous. I had traveled numerous times with my family before, and I had a good understanding of how things worked. However, I still understand why people are afraid of traveling, especially with what we see on social media these days, like the plane crashes my mom sends me every day, the motorcycle crashes my mom sends me every day, and as I mentioned earlier, stress is a big factor in traveling. One slip up in the travel plan can throw you off completely. When I traveled alone for the first time, fortunately, I didn't run into any problems. But there was always the fear of something happens. However, I knew that if something did happen, I could ask a staff member for assistance, because their job is to help people who need it. Traveling alone was nice for me. I found it peaceful. I was able to put my headphones on and tune everything and everybody out. I was able to watch my show and pass the time with only myself in mind. Not you. Sorry. After traveling alone, I found it to be much easier than traveling with a group. I found it to be easier because I was able to focus on where I should be rather than anybody else or arguing between directions. This can be quite common when traveling in bigger groups and with a mother. Therefore, traveling alone has its advantages. Once you get through the potentially hard part of traveling, the feeling you undergo upon arrival is like nothing else. It makes any troubles you experience along the way disappear completely. When I arrived in Medford, Oregon, relief rushed over me. Knowing I was able to see my childhood friends again and return home was a great feeling, since I hadn't been back for about 2 years. This feeling caused me to forget the whole trip there. Overall, my experience traveling alone was great and stress-free. Not all traveling experiences will be stressful. Most experiences will be without flaw. When traveling alone, many see it as overwhelming because they feel alone, and that scares them. With no peers or people there that they trust to assist or guide them, people assume that the worst things will happen, like a plane crash. However, this is not true. Staff members and pilots are trained and present throughout airports, train stations, buses, and many other modes of transportation. When in doubt, find somebody to help. If you have rejected traveling alone, I highly recommend, if given the opportunity, trying it at least once in your life. I think it is worth the experience. That is all. Let me take a bow. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you can put